I really appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you, Charles.
Okay. Well, it seems any plan that will avert hitting the debt ceiling will either have tax hikes or meager spending cuts. So would we just be better off letting the debt line come and go and force D.C. to live within their means? Here to discuss is Congressman Michael Grimm. Congressman, just talking to Art Laffer, there's no doubt about the fact that the swing in public opinion now is we've got to raise the debt ceiling. I don't know that the public felt that way even a week ago. So where do we go from here? The August 2nd deadline is looming large. What happens if it comes, and what happens to the economy? What happens to public opinion? What happens to our country?
Well, it's a very delicate balance. But what's different about this Congress, specifically the Republican freshmen, is that we came here knowing what we were up against. No one came in thinking it was going to be all gravy. We were just going to come in and everything was going to change. Washington is broken. It has been broken. That's why we were elected. I wouldn't be here if this place was running the way it should be. And we were chosen to actually step up and do something that's difficult, and it's called governing. And if we're going to put our country first, like many of us have done in the past, then regardless of what public opinion is doing and which way the wind may be blowing, we have to get what's done. We have to do what's right for this country. And that means getting the job done, cutting spending, because we know that's really the problem, is that we spend too much. We're addicted to spending. We're addicted to spending money we don't even have. So we have to deal with that, and we have to have a long-term plan to control the national debt over time. And that's what this really comes down to. The president hasn't been serious about this debate, not from day one.
Well, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I do believe the president is winning the game of public opinion. Now let's talk about this Gang of Six, because you've got lower individual income taxes in there. You've got lower corporate taxes in there. You've got a lot of goodies in this Gang of Six proposal that Republicans have been asking for a long time. How do you, I don't know what your position is on this, but how would a Republican go out and tell the public this deal is not good enough?
Well, because we don't know any of the details yet. I mean, that's my problem with this plan, is that it's very vague in a lot of different areas. And as you know, the devil's in the details. So I like certain things because it's right in line with Paul Ryan's budget. Maybe the numbers may be off. Maybe it's a skinnier version. But overall, the broad-based plan is very much a mirror of what we've already voted on and what we've already said we want. So Paul Ryan's plan is $5.8 trillion in cuts over 10 years. This may be $3.7 trillion in cuts. It's a compromise, not exactly what we want, but it's certainly getting us in the right direction. But again, I need to see the details of the plan. How do they address issues when it comes to entitlements? One of the things that I like is that it repeals some of Obamacare. It repealed the Class Act. I think that's a big step in the right direction. So that's big. It lowers marginal tax rates. Again, something I'm for. Let's lower marginal tax rates. Let's get the job creators back on track to create more jobs. That's what this is supposed to be about. So I think there are some good things, but there's a lot of ambiguity. And with it being so vague, I can't tell you for sure, how good or how bad it is.
You just used the word compromise. I don't think that a lot of people believe that Tea Party members of Congress have that word in their vocabulary, so it was good to hear. But before I let you go, if August 2nd comes and our debt rating is downgraded, what would the result be to our economy?
Oh, I think it's going to seriously hurt the economy. But I want to make a very strong point here. If we raise the debt ceiling but put no plan forward to deal with our debt, they're going to downgrade us anyway. That's what everyone keeps missing. It's not really just about the debt ceiling. It's really about controlling our debt. If we have no plan, the S&P and Moody's have already said in writing they are going to downgrade us if we don't have a serious plan, a tangible plan to deal with our long-term debt. That's the problem. It's not whether we can or cannot raise the debt ceiling. Of course, everyone knows we can. But can we control our spending? That's what the world is looking at. They're looking to see if we have a plan to control our debt, because if not, we're no longer credit worthy, and they're not going to lend us any more money, and there goes our AAA rating. Then my question for the president is, what do you do then? Because you can't change that outcome with a vote. So, this is a very serious matter, but unfortunately, the president of the United States has played politics, hasn't dealt with the real issue.
Congressman Grimm, you're right. The world is watching, and this is a very serious matter. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you. Be well.
Well, as Congress debates which debt reduction plan to embrace, the threat